Week 6 of tennis is in full swing. We got some action from WTA Doha. We're into the semifinals now. And then, of course, Rotterdam, Dallas, and Buenos Aires on the clay in South America. So to start, let's start with Buenos Aires and mention some notable matches from that 250 tournament. Let's start off with a little bit of a surprise. Defending champion João Fonseca losing to Tabilo in the round of 16. This match went to 3 sets. Fonseca, after the match, mentioned how his body's not feeling 100% right now, which is definitely a concern for him to be injured. Coming out of really the offseason, missed a couple of those 250 tournaments before the Australian Open, and then struggled in that first round match against Spizzirri in the first round and didn't look to be fully fit. So yeah, big concerns for Joao Fonseca for this season, a player that a lot of people had possibly cracking into the top 10 at year's end. And then Sebastian Baez defeating Ignacio Buse in straight sets. Definitely watch out for Baez in this tournament. Has had a great start to the year. And then Luciano Darderi, another player who's had a great start to the year on the surface that he's most comfortable with, on the clay court, gets a nice straight sets win in the round of 16. And that kind of sets up some interesting quarterfinal matchups, but it creates even more interesting possible semifinal matchups. So, for example, Francisco Cerundolo and Echeverry could be matched up against each other in the semifinals. And then similarly, we could be seeing Baez Darderi. These if the seeds were to make it into the semifinals, we'd have some fantastic clay court matches. Darderi Baez, those are two top 20 clay court players in the world, and Echeverry Cerundolo, not too far off that top 20 as well. Could be some very interesting matches in ATP Buenos Aires. And then mentioning these quarterfinals, let's start off with Francisco Cerundolo versus Vitko Priva. They have faced one time in the past in a tour level match, or actually, I believe this would actually be even a challenger in 2021, where Francisco Cerundolo won on outdoor clay. It did go to 3 sets in that one, where Kopriva did win that first set. I will be taking Cerundolo in this one. I think Kopriva's win against Berrettini was an excellent win, but I think Cerundolo is just that one step higher in level at the moment, so I'll be taking Francisco Cerundolo. Tabilo Echeverry, they have faced off twice, and these are also in challengers. Never played a tour level match, played in the Dominican Republic in 2018 and Brazil in 2018. One of those was on hard, one of those was on clay. Echeverry was able to get the one that was on clay. Can't take much stock into these challenger results from 8 years ago, but you can definitely see this one going either way. I'm definitely leaning towards Echeverry in this one. So yeah, I will be taking Echeverry. Pedro Martinez versus Luciano Darderi. They have faced off a couple times in the last 2 or so years. They faced off in Miami, where Darderi got the win. Pedro Martinez was able to defeat Darderi in the Australian Open in 2025 in the first round there. And then they also faced off in Mallorca. So they've never faced off on the clay courts. Uh, this will be their first clay court meeting. The way Darderi started the 2026 season, and the fact that it's being played on his most comfortable surface, I will be leaning towards Darderi in this one. And then two seeded players in this tournament, Will Carabelli versus Sebastian Baez. They faced off 4 times, with Sebastian Baez leading the head-to-head 3-1. However, Ugo Carabelli was able to get the last match against them in the round of 32 in Hamburg. They have played 4 matches, all of them on clay, and they've even played in this tournament 1 year ago, where Sebastian Baez got the win. I will be going with Sebastian Baez to win this matchup. I would not be insanely surprised if Ugo Carabelli were to spring an upset. And I'm more picking Baez for the way he has started 2026 and the level that he showed in 2026, but also, playing on clay. He's a top 20 clay court player in the world. So I will be taking Sebastian Baez in this one. And Sebastian Baez, Darderi, Echeverry, Cerundolo. Those would be my picks. It is a little bit chalk today. The one player that I could definitely see springing an upset would be either Tabilo or Ugo Carabelli. And now on to ATP Dallas. This was a fantastic win for Taylor Fritz. I actually picked Brandon Nakashima in this one going into it, just with some concerns over Fritz's health. But he won it in straight sets. So excellent win for Taylor Fritz. Brandon Nakashima wasn't really able to convert on any of his break points. And because of that, Taylor Fritz ended up winning it in straights. And another one that was a little bit surprising. Once again, I picked Tiafoe to win this one. However, Seb Korda ended up having a great win. I didn't want to put too much stock into that Zhang first round match, but it turns out that Seb Korda is just playing some good tennis at the moment. This one was really decided in that first set. It was tied 5-all. Could have really gone either way, but Korda clutched up when it mattered in that first set and took that momentum into the second set. And Manarino, Ben Shelton, round of 16 match. This one got a little bit dicey, but I feel like it's always going to get dicey when you're facing Manarino. He tends to always play tight, close, contested matches, and this was no different. First two sets going to tiebreakers. Manarino getting the second in a tiebreaker to force that third set. And Ben Shelton just brought out the clutch factor in him and was able to get the win in this one, and a huge win. And that lined him up for a possible quarterfinal match against Tommy Paul. But we will get to that later. And another round of 16 match is going to be Ethan Quinn versus Marin Cilic. This one was definitely 50-50 going into it. Marin Cilic ended up clutching up and getting the win. First set tiebreaker was excellent from Cilic. And Ethan Quinn, I don't think he's got to be too disappointed in this. Marin Cilic is still playing at a fantastic level. Definitely a player that you don't necessarily want to be drawn against in some of these tournaments because he has that talent and that level of a top 10 player on his day, as he's obviously he was in the past. And Ethan Quinn, great start to the year so far, and yeah. Then Shapovalov, Kovacevic. Shapovalov, a great straight sets win against Kovacevic. Really clean in this one, and it's looking good in this tournament. Place he's very comfortable at. And real quick on Kovacevic, I was just thinking, like, what's my opinion on Kovacevic in general as a player? Is that I think he's quite talented. I think he's well, for starters, he plays a very fun brand of tennis. The one-handed backhand, of course. To me, like, he is a staple at like right where he's ranked. He's ranked, I believe in the 50s or 60s. I believe he's in the mid 50s at the moment is Kovacevic. And you always see him on these entry lists, the 250s, the 500s. And it's, can he take that step forward, or will he stay in this range? To me, he's kind of like the litmus test of that top 55 to 60 player is Kovacevic, where he he can defeat players that are he can defeat a Shapovalov if Shapovalov is not playing well. But if Shapovalov brings his A game, I feel like Kovacic hasn't been able to take that next step and defeat any of the big players when they bring their A game. But I don't know. That's my opinion on Kovacic. He's still one of those players that I'm excited to watch him whenever he plays because I see something and I see a little bit of potential. Maybe it's just because he plays a flashy game of tennis, but yeah, I think he's pretty talented. And then this one, I owe an apology to Pennington Jones. I didn't give him any chance in this one against Spitzeri. To be honest, this entire round of 16 was a pretty difficult showing on my part in terms of the predictions. And gotta apologize to Pennington Jones because he was able to get a huge win against Elliot Spitzeri. One caveat here, though, is Elliot Spitzeri was not broken in the entire match against Pennington Jones and ended up losing the match. So a little bit devastating for Spitzeri, especially the way he started the year, but also just like the way kind of the draw was shaping up for him. He could have continued to make progress in this tournament, get some great rankings points. Instead, it's Pennington Jones who's doing that. And then this one, a little late night ATP Dallas action. Tommy Paul, tough first set, gets that one done. You think, oh, he's gonna take that momentum into the second, steamroll Kecmanovic, but Kecmanovic digs in and gets the job done. Wins the second set, wins the third set. He was up big in the third set, was serving for the match and ended up getting broke. Tommy Paul ended up breaking back before Kecmanovic ends up serving out the match. Uh, this is it, the Tommy Paul Ben Shelton quarterfinal was projected, and that would have been a fantastic match. And Kecmanovic ends up upsetting that and leaves Kecmanovic versus Ben Shelton in the next round. Just a good solid win for Kecmanovic. And as we head to the quarterfinals, the first one is going to be Pennington Jones versus Marin Cilic. Now, is Pennington Jones going to continue this run forward, or is the veteran Marin Cilic going to find a way to stop him? They have never played against each other. And yeah, so I will be picking Mary Cilic in this one. Maybe I haven't learned my lesson picking against Pennington Jones. I just feel like the wily old fox and Mary Cilic will find a way to get this one done and make a semifinal at ATP 500. Then Taylor Fritz versus Sebastian Korda. They have faced off four times. Taylor Fritz leading the head-to-head 3-1, with Seb Korda's only win it at the Canada Masters in 2024. They have played twice on clay, actually, twice on hard courts. And the last time they faced off was in 2025 in Tokyo, only a couple months ago, where Taylor Fritz was able to get the victory, but it did go to 3 sets. In this one, I feel like this one actually is a fantastic and very interesting match. It depends on, I mean, this can be obvious, but it depends on two things. One, Taylor Fritz's health. That this is probably the most important factor to the match. If he can, back up, the two matches that he's played previously in this tournament, can he back that up with a third? Can he bring his level again? Because can he bring his level? He's gonna have to bring his level up as well against the player in Seb Korda, who's playing very well in this one. And then Seb Korda, are we going to see a consistent player, or are we going to see an inconsistent player in this one? Are we going to see the Seb Korda? The variance in what you're going to get from him in any given match is very, very high. Which one are we going to see from Seb Korda in this one? This one, this one could really go either way. There's so many variables in this one that I'm not even going to pick a winner in this one. Shapovalov, Davidovich, Fokina. They faced off twice before, both on hard courts, including last year in the Acapulco semifinal. In this one, I will be leaning towards Denis Shapovalov. I feel like he just gained confidence at this tournament in general, not only this year, but also from his success last year. And I will be going with Shapovalov in this one. We got two seeded players in this one, and big opportunities for both. Shapovalov, Fokina. I'm definitely thinking Shapovalov is going to try to dictate play in this one, while David Fokina will probably try to counterattack a little bit more in the points. And it's probably going to come down. This match is probably going to come down to more of how well does Denis Shapovalov play versus a lot of mistakes from Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. And if Fokina were to make a lot of mistakes, I'm guessing it'd be due to Shapovalov forcing them. And then our last quarterfinal is going to be Miomir Kecmanovic versus Ben Shelton. It was looking like all the world like it was going to be Tommy Paul, Ben Shelton, and then Kecmanovic in the late night Dallas pulls off the upset over Tommy Paul. I don't really see him going back to back and getting Shelton. I think Shelton's weapons are just a little too powerful. And I think Shelton's just going to serve his way into the semifinal, which could lead to an interesting match because Shelton will, the winner of this match will face a seeded player in either Shapovalov or Davidovich Fokina in the semifinals. And then now into ATP Rotterdam, mentioning some notable matches. Let's start off with Alex de Minaur, straight sets victory over Stan, the man Wawrinka. This one was no surprise. Alex de Minaur, number one seed in the tournament. It's just a bad matchup for Stan. A player, Alex de Minaur, a player that you really have to you have to go win the match against De Minaur, and De Minaur is just going to try to really outlast you. And he was able to do that in this one. And Felix could win against Medjedovic in straight sets. Felix and De Minaur still in the tournament as the top two seeds. And then Botic van de Zandschulp added his home country tournament and a good victory in straight sets against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Second set did end up going to a tiebreaker. This was a true pivot point for both players. Tsitsipas trying to gain that momentum. And just really any tournament, try to make the later stages of a tournament, and had a good win prior in this tournament. However, Botic van de Zandschulp ended that and moves on to the quarterfinals. A tough, tricky three-setter between Kachanov and Munar in the round of 16. Munar was able to get it done, won that first set in a tiebreaker, and really propelled him towards winning this match. Bounced back from a rough second set to get that third set win and the victory in the match. Munar to the quarterfinals. So that leaves us with some interesting quarterfinals, where we have Ugo Humbert versus O'Connell. They have played twice before, including last year at Roland Garros. They also played on outdoor clay in Munich. They played twice on clay, never on the hard courts. And so this match actually is already, by the time that I'm recording, is already completed. And Ugo Humbert ended up getting the victory. He won it 6-4, 6-1 in straight sets. And Ugo Humbert, from the start, from the get-go in this tournament, was a player that I was looking at with. It was an opportunity for him playing on the indoor hard court, his preferred surface and condition combination. And this was a must-win for Ugo Humbert in terms of the opportunity. All right. Obviously, every match is a must-win. Let me clarify what I meant exactly by that. But it was a win that, due to the opportunity that presented himself at a 500 level tournament on the indoor hard court, for the entire season, it is such a pivotal win for him, not only rankings points wise, but it's got to be confidence wise as well. And in general, to start gaining these results, because he's shown high levels so far in 2025. But he hasn't necessarily gotten all the results that maybe he should have. For example, if we're looking at the first week of the tournament of the season in Brisbane against Cam Norrie, he was playing lights out early on, but not able to get the job done. And I feel like that can kind of be a theme sometimes with Ugo Humbert, where he sometimes plays matches and looks really well in them, but isn't able to close them out and get the victories. So for this one, in a match that he really was important for him to win, and it was an awesome win for him. Then Alex de Minaur, Botic van de Zandschulp. Again, this one is going on as we speak. It's actually in a second set tiebreaker where Botic van de Zandschulp was able to get the first set. They faced off 3 times before, with de Minaur winning all 3 of them, including 2 matches last year, both on hard courts in Doha and in the Australian Open. It looks like de Minaur is going to win this second set tiebreaker, and I would expect him to go on to then win that third set tiebreaker. But Botic van de Zandschulp in his home country tournament is very dangerous, and also on the indoor hard courts is dangerous. So yeah, we could also be so the winner of these 2 matches will be facing off against each other. So it's going to be Ugo Humbert versus the winner of de Minaur and van de Zandschulp. That one would be a very, very interesting match if that were to be come to be. I might be taking Ugo Humbert in both matchups. That's just the way that he plays on this surface and conditions combination. Then Greek sport Felix, they faced off twice, including last year at Mallorca on the outdoor grass, where Greek sport was able to get the win. And they also played in 2022, also on grass. So they only played twice on grass. This is going to be played, of course, indoor hard courts. Greek Sport is home tournament as well. Good to see two Dutch players into the quarterfinals at their home tournament. The way Felix has bounced back from his disappointment in the Australian Open has been very impressive, and I would expect him to continue that in this match and win. And then lastly, Drawing Munar Bublik might be the most intriguing quarterfinal matchup. They faced off once before, and it was actually last year at Wimbledon. Remember, this was a time when Bublik was definitely being hyped up. Had just defeated Yannick Sinner on a grass court uh, in a grass court tournament. One of the few people to defeat Yannick Sinner besides that wasn't named Carlos Alcaraz last year. And but facing off against and so going into that Wimbledon match, Traume Munar ended up springing the upset. So he was playing a really informed Bublik. Did end up going to 5 sets, but Munar was able to get that win last year. Munar been playing good so far this year. Had some impressive United Cup matches, even if he didn't end up necessarily winning. I remember the first match of the tennis season really being Munar versus Sebastian Baez, and Munar looking pretty solid in that one. But yeah, this one, the way I feel like Bublik has been uh, playing well so far to start this year, so I will be going with Bublik in that one. Then, as we head over to the women's side, the women's tour, reviewing some of the quarterfinals, Mukova over Kalinskaya. This is one that I thought Kalinskaya was gonna have a little bit of a better chance in, but Mukova has been playing lights out so far this year. So good, solid win for her, and she makes a semifinal quietly in Masters 1000. In Boca Rabakina, this was the match of the quarterfinals, going 3 sets. Rabakina, after the match, saying that she thought she played a pretty good level and played pretty well, but Mboko just brought it to her and Mboko into the semifinals, and she is got to be the favorite now to go all the way. As Swiatek losing to Sakari, this one for sure surprised me. Sakari leveling their head to head. Swiatek gets that first set, and Sakari does not give up. Wins some two tightly contested second and third sets to make her way into a semifinal. And then we got Ostapenko Cocciaretto. This was one that was before the match. I thought was going to be a coin flip, really. But Ostapenko was able to get the job done in straight sets. That leaves us with some semifinal matchups of Ostapenko and Mboko. They have never faced off against each other. And also Mboko is live ranked 10th in the world right now, which is absolutely incredible. She's going to be 10th next week. That's the worst case scenario, and she'll be up to even ninth if she goes on and wins this tournament, passing Svitolina even. So congrats to Mboko for cracking into the top 10. And then Maria Sakkari versus Mukova in the semifinal as well. This is another one that, my opinion on Sakkari in this tournament has flipped dramatically after that win against Swiatek. There's no reason why she can't go on and win this tournament. To be honest, all four of these players I could see going on and winning this tournament. I will be going with chalk here and going Mboko and Mukova in these matches, but really I don't feel crazy confident in that. The most confident player I have right now is Mboko to go on and win the entire thing. She's proven it in the past last year at Montreal that she can go on these runs and close them out even. And also same outdoor hard courts. So I will be going Mboko. I'm feeling most confident with right now. And going back to this Mukova Sakkari match, Mukova does lead the head-to-head 4-1. And the Sakari's only win is actually in 2016. So we got 10 years ago in a challenger in Egypt. So that's another data point to lean towards Mukova and possibly a Mukova Mboko final in Doha. All right, so kind of like I did the other day with the ATP Top 200, we're going to now do it with the WTA Top 200, where I'm going to try to name every country represented in the WTA Top 200. From the last time I did with the ATP, I learned that the number of countries was around, I believe it was around 60, 65, something like that, for countries that were represented. I kind of think it's going to be pretty similar for WTA as well. I'll put 15 minutes on the clock, and I'll just start naming countries that I think are represented in the WTA top 200. All right, let's get going. All right, like I did with the ATP, I will be starting in Europe and moving my way from west to east. So, okay, so starts. I'm trying to think. Start with Portugal. I'm actually not thinking of any Portuguese women players. So we'll go Spain. Of course, you got Paula Badosa, Busanero, France. Plenty of players from France. Yana Perry, um, Netherlands, Belgium, Elisa Mertens, Switzerland, Belinda Bencic, of course, Italy, Paolini, uh, United Kingdom, Kate Bolter, no Ireland, no Iceland, Monaco, don't think so, Andorra, no, Liechtenstein, Czech Republic, I mean, of course. I mean, how many Czech Republics are in top 200? I'll do a little, I'm gonna guess 22. That might be too high, but it's actually there's so many Czech players, Czech women's tennis players. Slovakia, Slovenia got Juvan Zidansek, Austria got Potapova, now Potapova, um, Grabha. All right, Serbia, Danilovic, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, of course, with Arina Sabalenka, Estonia, I believe, Lithuania, I believe, and no, not and not there's no player with name the capital of Lithuania, of course. As as I perhaps mentioned the other day, but anyway. Norway. Okay, Sweden, I believe. Finland, not sure. I'm gonna put that in the not sure category. Gonna put Finland. Denmark, Towson. Bulgaria. I believe so. Turkey, Sormez. Um, Greece, Maria Sakkari. Latvia, Elena Ostapenko. Let's see, what else in Europe? Hungary is going to be definitely is someone from Hungary. Germany, of course, Tatiana Maria, Ivelisse. Okay, so I said Sweden, Denmark, Finland. I didn't say Norway yet. No one's coming to mind. I'll put it here for now. I'm gonna put Portugal here. So I really don't think there are any Portuguese women in the top 200. Romania, of course. Kristea. Albania, maybe. Can't think of anyone. Once again, when it gets to 10 minutes, I'll move on to another continent. I feel like the majority is going to be from Europe for the top 200. Kazakhstan, of course. Rybakina. Let's see. The other Europe. The other big countries in Europe I'm missing. Got, but how about in the Balkans region? Yes, had Serbia, Slovenia, said Slovakia, got that. It's not the Balkans, of course. Poland, of course, you get Swiatek, you kidding me? That would have been a really bad one. Let's see. All right. I'm pretty cool with that for Europe. Okay, let's do the Americas now. So, going to be the United States, Canada, Mexico. I believe that's going to be it for North America. As we head to South America, we got Argentina, Santa Sierra, uh, Brazil, Beatriz Haddad Maya, Chile. Now, I can't think of anyone from Chile right now. I'd be kind of surprised if there wasn't. I'm actually so confident that they are in. I'm gonna put Chile there. Colombia, yes. Okay, Venezuela, maybe there. Colombia, Uruguay, maybe. Leaning no for Uruguay. Paraguay, I don't think so. Bolivia, I don't think so. Peru, I'll put Peru here as well. Again, I can't think of any. All right, now let's do. All right, we got Australia. We'll go Oceania and Asia. Japan, of course. Osaka. Uh, South Korea? I don't know. China, definitely. Philippines, of course. Yala. Um, India, I don't think so. Pakistan, no. Bangladesh, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Mongolia, Thailand. Thailand, I think so. I think there's someone from Thailand. Okay, Egypt. We go to Africa. Egypt, South Africa. I was wrong last time. Lloyd Harris wasn't the top 200. South Africa, maybe. I'm gonna go Tunisia. I do think there's gonna be. I mean, there's obviously no Andre Jabeur in the top 200, but I don't think so. But I think there might be another player from Tunisia in the top 200. Besides that, okay, not too sure. Middle East, I don't think there's anyone. No Saudi Arabia, no UAE. Ugh. Okay, Asia, any other countries in Asia? All right, let's see here. We have a pretty good list so far. I think the best use of time. All right, I'll think real quick in Africa, South America, Asia, if there are any players. Like New Zealand, I don't believe so. Indonesia would be one. Janice Chen from Indonesia. Let's see. Africa. Any other countries in Africa prominent in women's tennis? Algeria, perhaps. I will mention Algeria. Morocco has a chance. I'm going to put Morocco and Algeria in this category. Might come down to, I'll give these a count in a second, see how many I got. Probably looks like what, over like 50-ish right now. Okay, South America, also the countries, Argentina have it, Brazil have it, Chile probably has it. Bolivia, don't think so. Paraguay, don't think so. Peru, don't think so. Venezuela, maybe, but I don't think so. Colombia, good. That's 8 countries right there. Uruguay, probably not. 9. It's pretty good. I think South America's good. North America, Canada, Mexico, United States. Besides that, I don't see anyone. None of the islands. No, no, like Bahamas, no. No Cuba? I don't believe so. Haiti, Dominican Republic, no. Costa Rica, no. Panama, no. Okay. And then Asia, I went through them a couple of times. Don't think so. South Korea is one. I will be putting, if I didn't put them, I'll put them here. I can't think of any, but just in case, I'll have them here. Um, okay. Okay, so now let's go back to Europe for a little bit, and then we'll go to the not sure category and count up what we do have. Europe going west to east, Portugal, Spain, France, United Kingdom, got those Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Czech Republic, Netherlands, the Nordic countries, Poland, Germany, if I didn't say that, Belarus, Bulgaria. I mentioned them before. I'll put them here. They might be, can't think of any, but I feel like they are a relatively prominent tennis country in general. Obviously, Dimitrov on the men's side. Ooh, I'm leaning towards yes for Bulgaria, but we'll see. One that was tricked us was Chinese Taipei last time. I'm unsure. I'll put them here. I'm unsure. I'm actually leaning yes for Chinese Taipei. I'm actually so strong. I will be putting Chinese Taipei in the top 200. Bulgaria. Nordic countries. Croatia. Ooh, that would have been a bad miss. Got Croatia, obviously, Dano Vekic. Croatia, Bosnia. Bosnia. I don't think so. Croatia, anything else? Okay. That, okay, let's count these up. Let's count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So it does feel like we're a little short. 46 is not that many. So from here, I will be putting at least four onto the list here. I will be. Ooh, I'm gonna put Finland. I'm gonna put Finland there. I feel like there's gotta be a Finnish player that I'm not thinking of. Bulgaria feels pretty safe to put on the list. I actually don't think South Korea is in the top 200. Maybe I'm wrong. Morocco, I'll put Morocco on. And I think I'm also going to be putting Norway on. I actually definitely think Norway. There's a player, I can't think of the name right now, but Venezuela maybe. Wow, these are the rest of the list. Is there any other ones? Let's try to think back to the men's list. Who did I miss? I missed Chinese Taipei. I don't remember who else I missed. Uh, by the way, while I've been recording today, let's do a quick. Demon Noor is up a set and a break in the third set, so it does look like he will be moving on uh, to face off against Ugo and Bear. Fantastic matchup. Super excited for that one. And yeah, that one could really go either way. And then Doha. Mboko, first set 6-3 up the second set, 3-0, and is serving right now. So looks like Mboko is going to make a final. Super, super exciting for Mboko. But yeah, going back to this quick little sidetrack. I don't know. I just don't see. I don't know if any of these countries have a player in the top 200. I think I'm actually just going to leave it here. Let's see if anything sparks the imagination. How about like Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan? Georgia, maybe. Georgia's always a maybe. Can I think of anyone right now? No, no, I can't. You know what, actually? I'm actually going to take off Norway because what I was thinking about with Norway was the United Cup because I remember seeing a Norwegian player, but I don't believe she was in the top 200. And if I'm wrong on that, I am wrong on that. But all right, so that was it. That is the 15 minutes have been allotted. And okay, 15 minutes have been allotted. And now let's check to see how I did. All right, let's see how I did. All right, starting off, Belarus got that one with Sabalenka. Poland, good. Kazakhstan, good. Anisimova, top ranked American right now. How about that? Anisimova. So I'll do a couple more so I can see it better. Okay. Andreeva, that would be Russia. Russia, good. Italy, Paolini, Svitolina, Ukraine. That's going to be Russia again. Switzerland, Belinda Bencic. Linda Noskova is the top. I will count the Czech players at the end. 22 maybe a lot, but there's a lot of Czech players. Canada with Mboko, Towson, Denmark, Osaka, Japan, of course. USA, Russia, USA, Czech Republic, USA, Russia, Belgium, Elise Mertens. Got it. Kostyuk, Ukraine, already got Ukraine. Latvia with Ostapenko. Uh, United Kingdom, Raducanu. China. USA, Australia. Romania, Kirstea. Xinyu Wang, France, Poisson. Czech Republic, Romania, Czech, USA, Philippines, Ukraine, Spain, Buzas Monero, Janice Chen, Indonesia. That was a good poll. Definitely could have missed that one. Poland, Magdalene. I already got Poland though with Iga Swiatek. Make sure I did. Yep. Colombia, Emiliano Arango. Good work with that one. And then Germany, Laura Siegemund. Greece, Italy, already got Italy, of course, Paolini earlier. Australia, Argentina, Solana Sierra. Argentina. Hungary, Ana Bondar. Croatia, Antonia Rusic. That was a good late poll. Beatrice Haddad Maya for Brazil. USA, Croatia. Already got that. Kazakhstan, already did I not put Kazakhstan? I might have skipped Kazakhstan earlier. I got Kazakhstan. Good. Ukraine, Romania, France, Australia, Austria, Potapova. Potapova only ranked 76th. Wow. Austria, Colombia. Haven't missed any yet, so that's good. Slovakia did get Slovakia. Srmakova. Same as Turkey. There is Turkey. China, Serbia with Danilovic. Let's see. Missing Slovenia, Estonia, Japan, Switzerland, Hungary, Mexico. Mexico with Zarazua. Uzbekistan. Oh no, that's a shame. Oh no. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that was so ghetto. I didn't think of Uzbekistan. All right. First miss is Uzbekistan. Of course, Rakimova. I could have got that. That's a really tough one. Slovenia. Got that one with Juvan. New Zealand, there is Lulu Sun, so she's from New Zealand. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Germany. Egypt did get Egypt. Thought Sheriff was from Egypt. Slovenia, good. Netherlands. Did I miss someone, or is she the highest ranked Dutch player? Lamens. Austria, USA, France, Czech. Andorra. There is Andorra. Wow. Okay. Okay. France, China, USA, Ukraine, Chinese Taipei. Let's go. Got that one. Thailand. Bingo. I look, he did good on this. Belgium, Australia, Poland, Spain, Netherlands, Canada. I already got Canada. Japan, Poland, Belgium, Poland, Czech Republic, Italy, Serbia, Uzbekistan, two Uzbekistan. Oh, Kudermetova. So bad not getting Uzbekistan. I should have focused in on the stands a little bit more. Belgium, Italy, Spain, Slovenia, China, Tunisia. So Anjabor is okay. Good. Anjabor is in the top 200. Romania, Czech Republic. All right, let's see. Let's do a quick recap. What do we need to close it out? We need Estonia, Lithuania, Sweden, Bulgaria, Chile, Finland, Bulgaria, Morocco. I did Bulgaria twice. Looks like. Okay, I'll take off Bulgaria here. Let's see. Okay, USA, Bulgaria, back. Let's go. Just as I was talking about it. Uzbekistan, three Uzbekistan. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Armenia, there was Armenia. Okay. That's a miss, but it's whatever. Greece, Canada, France, Georgia. There was Georgia. There was a Georgia. You gotta be kidding me. Netherlands. Let's see, can we get one more? Northern Macedonia. South Korea. There was South Korea. Hmm. Northern Mexico. Okay. 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 So how many? So misses was one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven misses. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven falses. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. All right. So 41 correct. So that's going to be a percentage. I'll do so I got so 41 out of 48. So I got 85 correct. But if we include the ones I included false into this, then it would be 41 divided by 55, 74%, which was pretty close to what I had with the ATP. It might have even been slightly better. I don't exactly remember uh, for certain, but that was interesting. It since I spoke it, it answered it for me on the notepad. I didn't know the Apple did that. Anyway, not important. But okay, some of the misses that were the biggest Uzbekistan by far was the biggest miss. This is one I definitely should have gotten, probably for both the men and the women's. This was the probably the biggest miss I had in general, like in total. Then Andorra, Armenia, Georgia, North Macedonia, South Korea. I mean, I mentioned South Korea. I thought about North Macedonia, Armenia, and Georgia. I mentioned Andorra. I even mentioned New Zealand. I think I might have actually mentioned all of these when I was doing it. I just didn't think any of them made it. And then the interesting ones: Estonia, Lithuania, Sweden. There was an Estonian player, and I'll be looking up right now in the WTA finals in I want to say 20, or it might have been Finland. I was thinking of. 2021. It might have been a Finnish player. Let's see. 2021. Yes, yes. Annette Kontaveit. She was she was Estonian. Okay. So she was Estonian. What happened to Annette Kontaveit? She was number two in the world at one point. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Made the finals of the WTA finals in 2021. She I guess she just retired. Yeah, I guess she just retired. Good for her. Yeah, 2023 retired. Okay. Good for her. Good for Annette Kontaveit. Yeah, so Estonia, Lithuania, I don't really know. Sweden was just surprising because I feel like they're such a high tennis country. Just surprising to see that. Chile, yeah, I mean, I couldn't think of anyone, but again, a quite high tennis country. Finland, yeah, I mentioned Finland, no Finland either, and then Morocco. Let's just go a little bit further, see if we find anything or any other countries really. Another Thailand, Portugal, so that's the highest ranked Portuguese player. Is that Burundi? All right. That's pretty cool. Liechtenstein. South Africa also didn't make it. Another Bulgaria. Cyprus. Interesting. Cool. Go one more. Storm Hunter. He's 251st, really. Another South Korea. All right. Not too bad. Not not too bad. All right. So now the last thing to do for this is just, I thought there was going to be 22 Czech players in the top 200, and let's see how many there are. All right. So we got Noshkova, Mukova, so that's two. Vondrusova, three. Puskova's four. Bejlik, five. Siniakova, six. Valentova, seven. Krejcikova, eight. 22 might have been ambitious. 22 might have been very ambitious. Come on, there's more Czech players. Bartunkova was at one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay. Okay. Nine. Rubertova, 10. 11. 12. 13. Okay. 13. So it's not quite 22. Yeah, it would have been pretty crazy if 10% of the top 200 was from the Czech Republic. But what was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13. I mean, 13, that's 5%, which is still impressive. So yeah, Czech Republic, how about that? Yeah, not 22, but 13 is still a lot, and it's probably maybe it's probably the second highest besides the United States, if I had to guess, um, in the top 200. So pretty cool. Let's see any checks and that just outside Plinkova. Not too much, but anyway. All right. Yeah, so that was it. Not too bad in this. I'm actually pretty proud of this. Misses weren't too bad. Uzbekistan was bad miss though. That was the only one. Uzbekistan. Yeah, so that was me trying to name every single country that's represented in the WTA top 200.